This was a discussion I was having with my son about homeschooling. And in one of his assignments, we were talking about kids that are gifted. And I was explaining to him the difference of kids being gifted and him having the potential of being gifted. And this is where the conversation led. The reason why I think homeschool is much more supportive than public school is because there's a lot of kids that are gifted and they get overlooked. And I believe that we all have the potential of being gifted, but we all learn differently. And when you're in school, you get distracted and you get put into this group of people that is one box, and it allows you to be overlooked and to be influenced by the other kids that end up becoming a distraction, a comparison, someone that you feel like this is what smart looks like and I'm not. I'm not smart, as some of the kids use, which I hate the word stupid. It becomes something that you aren't that, but you start to believe it and embody that. I think that you need to find what works for you and how you learn. And a lot of times schools can't offer that. They just can't. One, because the teachers aren't even trained to identify that. And they're going off of one curriculum, one syllabus, one way of learning, and they expect you to learn the same way. When I used to volunteer at your school, I used to see how distracted you would get. You would lose focus. You would become not the distractor, but you would get distracted. The disability was learning how to focus. You were a cool kid. Everybody wanted your attention. So imagine doing that in the lower grade levels and getting older and continuing the same pattern. When I saw that you were getting distracted and learning bad habits because of the environment, I just couldn't allow you to take what I've seen you be so good at and destroy it by what teachers and other kids are doing. And don't get me wrong, I think the school system is great for some kids, but not for every kid. And I know for myself, I went from being a kid that looked forward to teaching my siblings to not ever wanting to be in school and couldn't wait to get out and didn't continue in college because I was given the impression that I just wasn't smart enough. Imagine that. Once I discovered that I was the child that was smart, but nobody supported me. Everyone told me I was what I was doing wrong rather than what I was doing right. I realized that this was something that embodied over the course of grade school, and it wasn't my true self. So I wasn't going to let you fall into that same belief as other people are saying, oh, you're not doing it right, or you get a lower grade than everyone else means you're not smart enough, when that's not the case. Let me tell you a story. I was about 8 or 9 when my mom told me she was pregnant. And I was so excited, I started creating workbooks for my sister so I could teach her. And at that age, I thought I was smart enough to do so because I was good at my basic math, my basic reading, and things that I understood. But of course, along the way, you know, you deal with influence of kids, you make friends. I very much remember telling my mom, I don't want them to not be cool in school. I want, at the time it was my sister, but later I had a little brother as well, right back to back. And I was like, I don't want them to get picked on. I want them to be smart. I'm going to show them math. I made pictures. I was like, I'm going to read to them. And somewhere along the line, that didn't work out for me. My desire was to teach. My desire was, I'm smart. I can help my siblings be smart. But what did school do for me at that time, as well as my home environment? I didn't have the support. And it wasn't until I got older that I started struggling and comparing myself to other kids, because now my teacher is complaining about, oh, she doesn't write like this, she doesn't write well, she's distracted, she's not listening, she's not focusing, she's not doing all these things that for me, I'm like, I didn't see it as a problem. And since the teachers weren't trained to be able to give us the attention that we needed to know how gifted we are and know what our skill sets are, we just got pushed into the group of kids that also were distracted or not paying attention or not being at their best version. And I believe that that was something that I lost along the way, because when was in school, I was excited to learn. I was excited to teach. I was excited to help. I saw that in you. That's when I decided, if I have enough time to support you and give you the opportunity to see your true self and see yourself without having a group of kids that you have to compare yourself to. So if I had continued in school the way that many kids who are gifted be introduced to this part of themselves that they can grow into, instead of it being taken away, I would have probably been able to teach and see who I was at a very early age. And not, I don't mean be a teacher. Like, I don't want to work in a school, but I would have been able to help others. But I lost that interest in myself. Like what? Yes. I could have done many things. I could have had my own leadership. I was prepared to be a leader and teach. So now that I am at the point in my life where I can teach and be a leader, I realize I'm a lot smarter than I thought I was.